when the Disney stores closed and everyone stopped going, well, most of the Disney stores closed, and then the rest of them had stuffed animals and little t-shirts and stuff, but they didn't have any of the animation art. They didn't have any cells, and Disney World and Disneyland was the place that had all of the art. And when that happened and everything sort of started shifting, and people would see a Disney World and Disneyland interpretive art instead of just cells, and this has affected people's perspective on things that they can collect. It's opened up this whole way of thinking for collectors who have always collected animation production cells or cells in general, or Disney collectibles, into thinking they can actually have some of their favorite artists or Disney artists or illustration artists that they really like or that they like the style of in their own houses. And what's nice about that is that you can actually have artwork that fits in with traditional fine art a lot better by collecting interpretive Disney art. A lot of the artists, now all of that art is represented by a company called Collector's Editions. So they have a really good eye for artists and a keen sense of what's going to be popular later and of artists that they know are going to take off. So they have a really cool collection of artists. You can go on DisneyFineArt.com, which is their website, and look at all of the different artists that they represent. And ArtInsights My Gallery actually carries all of those artists, and there's a few of them that we're really into. They're always adding new artists to their list and people that they represent, so you can check back on their site and our site for new artists. We actually have had such a huge amount of success with Toby Bluth and his work, and he was a Disney illustrator for storybooks, but also the art director for the Tigger movie and the Three Musketeers with Mickey and Goofy and Donald. And then he's actually come to our gallery. He comes every year. We love him. If you haven't ever met him, you really have to, because that man is just lovely and tasty and wonderful. We highly recommend his work. And Jim Silvati, who is not just a Disney interpretive artist, but actually works right now as a production artist for the movies. And he's a very humble, very nice, very sweet guy. He's always working on a new movie, and whatever that movie is, they sign away your life. Shh, don't talk about it. I actually know the movies he's working on right now. He's worked on Surf's Up and Happy Feet and Spider-Man and the Harry Potter movies. He's done Radio City Music Hall and Arena Stage, and he loves doing posters for plays, and he's done the front covers of a bunch of books. So his work is really beautiful, and we're the only people who have the Harry Potter original paintings that they created in the making of Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire movies. So that they'll probably be gone by the time you even see this video, but they're really beautiful. He has limited editions. Toby Bluth is really cool. We also have John Rowe. John Rowe's interesting because his interpretive Disney art is different from anybody else's. He doesn't do Disney characters looking like they do in the movies. He just does interpretive art of those characters, and it flies off the wall. I sell his original art, which is very expensive but really beautiful, and it goes for about $15,000 for an original, but you can get his limited editions, and his stuff is becoming more and more popular. I'm actually going to be having his art from the illustrations of the horse books that he works on. He's done Phantom Stallion and Black Stallion and the Marguerite Henry books and a bunch of other stuff. And also the United Nations Endangered Species stamps, and those are really cool too. It's a little bit of a peripheral thing for us, but when I see beautiful art, if it's illustrative or movie art or animation, interpretive art, I'm all over it. Anyway, those are a few. We also love Tim Rogerson. His stuff is very reasonably priced, even the original art. So that's somebody else you might consider. And Rodell, who's new to collector's editions, and his stuff looks like James Coleman, which is cool because James Coleman, his work is like $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 for originals, and Rodell's work is much less expensive. So those are two artists you might consider, since James Coleman was a background artist at Disney. You might want to just check out all of that stuff, see if that works with your collection. If you have any questions about any of those artists, or you're curious about anybody else, we are always doing commissions, and that's always a possibility if there's a character. As a production art collector in cells, if there's a scene that you've never been able to get in the original art, sometimes it's nice to just fill that with a beautiful interpretive piece of art by one of these artists. So that's something to consider too. All right, great. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, opinions, give us a call, email us. I'm happy to do whatever I can for you. All right? Happy hunting.